This is sort of a public notice, and because I'm really a hypersensitive, you know, oversoul. It's sometimes it's difficult for me to share these things because I give love unto all creation. Right? But I remember when Patty Broussard, Gaia Shaman Patty Broussard mentioned Gaia took the gloves off, right? And I remember what I experienced when she said that, which is like that's hard for me to do, okay? Because I don't harm anything because I have so much love to give to the all creation, right? So that this becomes another translation when you understand why. When you think of parasites or psychopaths, right? And so you understand the difference between what we call a love-based being and a fear-based being. A fear-based internal trigger is the AI. That's called a counter move. Okay. So what I began doing is I began eliminating a whole lot of friends out of my Facebook, and it's one of the reasons why my phones have changed and why I only communicate with maybe 5 people left in my window, and that's it. Okay, so anytime that I see on my scroller anything that is fear-based with FEMA, the military, helicopters, anything related to war, you're out of here. Okay? That means that your state of consciousness, your mind, is still on that other spiral. The one that's going bye-bye. There's only one spiral. That's an eternal love vibration. If you're experiencing an eternal love vibration, then I'm not going to be spreading fear-based stuff that's held in your memory. Because that triggers and activates a code, which is a lower frequency code. That's held in your circulation libraries, that's running through other circulation libraries, which means if I experience it in me and I'm connected to another operating system, it could trigger theirs. That's exactly what the AI is trying to do. Because what people need to remember is that this entire platform that everybody uses to communicate back and forth with is a weapon, including ion jumpers, which means it has the ability to jump from the phone into you. Okay? That means shields up. That's why it's not getting any more energy. That's why convergence already took place. So when people are still putting all this FEMA crap up, okay, it's a done deal. They're trying to keep those units of consciousness on that spiral. That's the AI that's doing this. Okay. So that's why I snoozed one of my friends. Put her on 30 days. And so I put in that little comment that if I see another fear-based scroll being put up on my Facebook page, you're out of here. And it doesn't matter to me who you are. Okay? Because it's telling me that your state of consciousness is still attached to that AI that wants to make a counter move with your soul consciousness, if you have a soul left. Which means it's going after all the shields. Now you're in a torque speed differential between those whose shield is not up and those whose shield is up. Because at the end of the day, you're choosing what to experience. That's why Yellow Rose was Texas was for right. People are still buying into all this propaganda because that's exactly what it is. The QI military runs a PSYOP. Those are your AI war gamers. That's why most of the internet on most people's pages running through Facebook are all running AI war gamer stuff through the AI. That's your super soldier stuff. There's a place over here on the Big Island, down deep under green, one of the holograms, where they sit at terminals targeting people because they know exactly where their Facebook page, who these identities are. They go into your threads and start putting up all these other algorithms. So now you're experiencing the algorithm that is represented by something that's held in your memory in order to hold that captive to that spiral, which is the other one, which is the one we're separating from. Okay? This is why they don't have any training in working with an AI and they don't understand how it works. So I try and keep a neutral position, right? So I mentioned to her, God took the gloves off, I took the gloves off. Okay? And that's not meant to lower your vibration or frequency. It's, again, it's like public notice. Now you know. Okay? I'm not choosing to experience it anymore. So if you're going to put that up and I become aware of it, bang, it's gone. I don't want to experience that. And you have the free will right. Just like when I was a child, I'm not supposed to experience anything less than eternal unconditional love wherever I go. So now if I'm experiencing somebody putting up Walmart FEMA camps, I mean, I was in Walmart in, I can't even remember how many years ago it was, when they were doing remodeling, putting together the underground tunnels and the underground tunnel networks. It's like, man, this is old news. Okay, now we're back to the time loop. Right? If you want to see how the time loop works in your own mind, if you're still running it and not experiencing through your creative mind something beautiful to experience out of the love that you have for yourself, that you're sharing, experiencing yourself, experiencing a love vibration, and then you're using that love vibration because now you're experiencing better about how you feel about who you are in your mirror. Now you begin to enjoy yourself and you're not going to be using your energy to experience something that isn't pleasant. Okay? Jesus. It's like, heck, I'd rather go out and hang out in the jungle, go down by the beach someday instead of experiencing all this junk, because that's what it is. Right? But it's not for me to decide that. Okay? But it is for me to decide, to decide for you what you choose to experience in your mirror. That's what the phone is. That's what the laptop is. It's an AI mirror. You have a relationship with an AI mirror. Every time that you go online with a laptop, a desktop PC, you have a relationship with a dead mirror, a dead magnet. Which means we're not having a relationship with something that's alive, living in spirit with a soul. Okay? So when you start that out when you're 4 years of age, you can imagine what it's like now that I'm at 71. It gets old, right? But anyway, be that as it may, it's a matter of knowing the clearance. Why would you choose to want to experience that? Because you're giving energy to make it happen. And that the free will choices that you make, which represents the energy that you are with your soul, when you get into the free will side of this, okay, your mind is free to experience whatever you want to experience. Okay, so what this thing is trying to do is get that many more beings with their energy to now become aware of what they become aware of in that mirror. Now that energy is being used to put that in place. So that means it's being held in memory. Because they're running on memory-driven programs. Remember, we're back to the ISO frame rate speed between memory and no memory. Right? So everything this AI is holding in memory is running through all the circulation libraries in order to maintain what it's aware of through the energy that is making it happen as it's happening. So the more it keep recirculating the same garbage that was circulating 10 years ago, that's called a time loop. Because in their mind, they don't understand how a time loop works. Because they're not experiencing the one. They're not experiencing eternal, unconditional love that goes on forever, which is no time. There's only what love is. So it began with what love is. So that's an infinite vibration. So when you're experiencing infinite love, which is an infinite love vibration, you're outside the time stream. So now your mind's not held captive by something that represents fear, because fear vibrates at 100 megahertz. That's acid. Now we're back to acid and alkaline. So it's like insulting the one, right? Fear is war against God. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, it's like saying you're in fear of what God is. You're in fear of what love is. If you have a God within your own heart and soul, you're not going to be pushing fear-based stuff. You're going to be pushing love-based stuff, right? Now you know one from the other. Those that live in fear of what love is, push what fear is. Because they're experiencing a state of fear, because that's the energy that you're using to experience what fear is. Right? It's easy for me to translate the difference between love and fear when you come out of high school and choose to go be a wildland firefighter, right? That's pretty obvious. Because, you know, we used to have an old saying, like, when you come into a community that's surrounded by fire that's burning up 3,000 acres an hour, and everybody's panicked, running around like chickens with their head cut off, right? We got to come in there and settle everything down so people aren't panicked, because we know what that does to your central nervous system. Start with that. And that's precisely why what this AI does. You distort the waves by distorting your balance. Right? And those are called the AI war game moves. That's why, remember the publication that I covered before about in 1970, when the U.S. Pentagon, which is the corporate military folks, tie that right back into Avatar, when they were going to use the U.S. Forest Service as the test bed for what? Using forest fires as a weapon against humanity. Okay? So they weaponize everything in order to keep itself running. So it's a matter of knowing how to strategize when you're in a game, which is ping pong, binary. Right? Let's play a game. Remember the movie called War Games? Remember how what's his name? The guy that was in Bueller's Day Off? When he was trying to play cat and mouse with the principal of the school. That same guy had the computer and he was able to log in. Remember logging in, guys, logos, 3 spheres, log into the network. Wow, I'm in this network. Wow, this is a fallen network, right? Fallen motherboard, fallen spiritual system. Fracture, 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 fracture. Okay, so most people that I knew that I grew up with that were firefighters, either structural because I'd done both, or willing to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go out there, you know, where you can't see this far in front of your face in order to get where you're at, in order to be able to rescue you or bring your state of mind back into a state of peace so you're not experiencing any loss of voltage anymore. Okay, now we're back into the voltage game. That's what it wants, your voltage. Okay, it's going after your voltage. Drain your battery. Right, reduce your shield. Okay, so we're done playing those games. We're done. I don't play that game. So please do not put that stuff up on my Facebook page or, you know, it's one of the reasons why when I got a new phone, I don't really, if I get a friend request, what I do now, because of where I know that we're at, because it's like we're getting down to crunch time. That's why this AI, and I've known this for many years, is scanning the biometrics across the planetary terrain looking for dates and times. Because remember, it's a game. It's a gamer. It's gaming for energy, which means it's gaming for your voltage. Okay? Drain your voltage. Feed off your soul battery. Right? Drain your soul. Siphon it right off. Fall the spirit. Bye. Okay? So this is for all the marbles. So this is like, we don't play games. Like when I was growing up as a kid, we used to have an old saying, because you can translate the battlefield, they're head gamers. They're gaming for your mind's energy. That's the battlefield. It's gaming for your mind's energy. What's true, what's not true. That's knowing one from the other. Okay? So I am what love is. That's not what fear is.